And this is a Fox News alert. Prisoners are still behind bars at this hour, despite President Panic's warning that criminals would be walking the street due to the sequester cuts. Folks, there's no reason to fear Charles Manson will not be handing in his prison jumpsuit anytime soon. Now, in other news, Charles Krauthammer has figured out why President Obama came up with this entire doomsday scenario in the first place. Now, let's not forget, sequester was this administration's idea, and in his brand new column, Charles points out there is nothing more than a political ploy going on. Joining me now to explain, the man himself, Charles Krauthammer. Charles, welcome back, sir.
Happy to be here, Sean.
Doom, gloom, apocalyptic. The seals and Revelation have opened up the heavens now. The sorrows are going to be bestowed upon the people on earth, Charles.
When I woke up this morning, I checked for locust, frogs, and pestilence.
It's here.
It looked okay, so I went outside.
Yeah.
Look, it's very clear this president from the very beginning has had no interest in cutting spending or in deficits. As you say, he's increased it by a record $5 trillion in one term. So all of this is about something else. And what it is about, it's about the larger agenda. And Obama explained it very openly, courageously, I'd say, in his inaugural address that he gave in January. He wants to change America, make it into this sort of left entitlement state, European style. But in order to get there, and he plays the long game, in order to get there, he has to eliminate the one obstacle. What's the one obstacle that stopped him from enacting his agenda in the first term? That was the GOP House. He got Obamacare in the first couple of years. He got the stimulus in the first couple of years. And then he stopped cold. So in order to play the long game, in order to enact the vision he has and the legacy he wants to leave behind, he's got to neutralize, to marginalize, to fracture the Republican House. Now, look what he did. On the fiscal cliff, he broke them on taxes. And now what he wants to do with the sequester is to break them on spending. And if he does, if the pain kicks in a month or two or three, and the media portray it as the Republican cuts, he sits there, he expects, you saw that today in the press conference he gave, he expects that this is going to kick in, it will be highlighted in the press, and Republicans will feel the heat and come crawling and cave on taxes and spending.
What you're saying then is to advance his agenda, and by the way, I agree with your analysis, but it runs a little deeper, Charles, in this sense that this president is willing to make the cuts in the areas that will inflict the maximum amount of pain on the American people to make a point to advance his radical agenda. In other words, he can make the cuts in areas where we wouldn't feel it, but he doesn't want to do that.
Well, we know that's true because just yesterday in the Senate, there was a bill presented by the Republicans that would have given the president a lot of leeway and authority to shift the cuts. Because right now, that is a dumb set of cuts because it's across the board. It doesn't allow a lot of leeway. And the president's party in the Senate not only rejected it, but the president himself said he would issue a veto. In other words, he'd rather impose the sequester and all the doom and gloom than be given the leeway to make choices between the programs that work, the programs that are essential, and the programs that are not. And that shows a lack of good faith in this, in wanting to make the cuts as minimal and as less painful as possible.
That's a terrible thing to say about a president, but I agree with you. That's the sad part. Let me ask you this. Bob Woodward was on this program last night, and Bob, along with, for example, Max Baucus, others, exposed the fact that the sequester idea came from the president. The president now has lied on numerous occasions that it was his idea. The second part of this is that he moved the goalpost. He wasn't supposed to be talking about more tax increases here. He was called out on that, also lied there. Why do I focus on basic character flaws, like if a president lies to the American people? Why does that bother me so much? Should I not pay as much attention to that?
well, what kind of medical insurance are you carrying before I give you advice on this?
Well, you are.
I got to see you. Because I'm still a psychiatrist, but I have to make sure I'm going to get reimbursed.
I have good insurance.
Here.
I'm on the Fox plan.
Okay. Look, I'm less a motive guy than I am an action guy. I'm just looking at what the president has done. And if he wanted the leeway, if he wanted the authority to be able to allocate the cuts in a way that would minimize the pain, he would ask for it. And he hasn't. And that tells me a lot.
Yeah, it also bothers me, though, that when confronted about the truth of who advanced this idea, he just outright lies, and the lapdog media goes along with it. But, Charles, good to see you. Thank you so much. Thanks for the free advice. 5 cents, I'll put it in the kitty, just like on peanuts. All right, sir.
My hours are really good.
You deserve them. Thank you, Charles.
Take care.
And